Hello, travelers, and welcome to July. I hope everyone had a good 4-day weekend. um, this is going to be an open reading, the first for July 2017. I can't believe we're already month 7. This year has flown by. We're going to be using the Rider-Waite deck. I'm going to go ahead and use that. I started to use the Fantastical Creatures, but that's what I used for the individual readings, which, by the way, they're all 12 are posted for the month of July over on the website. I will say that the Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and that Taurus is an hour long. That is a reading. I'm going to have to pat myself on the back for that myself. That was a really very interesting reading. I'm going to go ahead and shamelessly plug my site. For those of you who might be interested, there are 3 levels of membership options. 30 days for $7, 6 months recurring for $28, and 365 days a year subscription for $50. That's also recurring, but like I said, you can always cancel your subscription at any time that you decide, or pause it, whatever the case may be. You get 2 free birth charts. There are plenty of articles. I help you pinpoint timing. I'm going to tell you guys something. Those of you who are watching this that already have your membership, get your charts out. If you are second house heavy, the sign of Taurus, if you are Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, get your chart out and see what is happening, what planets and points and what numbers, what degrees are they sitting at. Okay, so that's that. General, male or female, same sex or heterosexual, please take what you can, disregard what you cannot. Those of you also probably went to the Facebook group and saw that I have deleted the Facebook group. I sent out a newsletter. For those of you who didn't get the newsletter, you can sign up. That's free, doesn't cost you anything. That'll tell you when there are new articles posted. And what I'm doing kind of behind the scenes to let you know what's coming up. I just didn't see, really, y'all know how long I've been struggling about that Facebook group. So I just went ahead and got rid of it. You can join me on Twitter, Tumblr. I think I'm going to get rid of my Twitter page as well. And focus more on Tumblr and LinkedIn. That might be where I'm heading. I'm not exactly sure. I'll let you know in a newsletter. I'm just trying to find a better niche for what I do. And I'm not too happy with Twitter or Facebook. So anyway, you guys still have your Facebook memberships to the site, so don't worry about that. You haven't lost any access or anything like that. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me in Facebook. I appreciate that. You can still, whatever questions you have, just like we had in the Facebook group, come over to the site and post your questions there, either underneath the post, in the comment section, whatever the case may be. All right, we've got a full moon coming up in Capricorn on Sunday. We have an eclipse. I've got an eclipse article coming for you guys here in a bit. And Neptune is retrograde. And I think that's a biggie. So, let's lay the cards. 4 of Wands. The Hermit. The 6 of Wands. What a weird set of cards. Off the bat. Wheel of Fortune. There's that second house I was telling you guys about. The Hierophant. The 10 of Cups. Wow. That's 2 10s. The Wheel of Fortune is a 10 card. The 4 of Wands and the 6 make a 10. The 7 of Cups the Nine of Pentacles. So this Hierophant is sandwiched between two nines. And then the Temperance. What's under the deck? Wow, that crappy ass Seven of Wands. That's really not a bad card. It ain't my favorite, but it's not a bad card. Four major arcana tell me that this is kind of evenly swayed between what you can and what you can't do, what you have control over and what you don't have control over. Those of you who have been either wanting to purchase a new home, your first home, and some of you will definitely be moving. Some of you might even be moving a long distance. Some of you might even be moving overseas. I have the two Sagittarian cards here. As if to say, not necessarily that your destiny is found in another country, because it may not be that it is literally that you have to go there to do it. Because sometimes Sagittarius can be about travel of the mind. It represents higher education, ideals, principles, the masses, the law, religion, philosophy. It is about study in order to incorporate having a worldview, bringing all of these different cultures and beliefs together for the good of the masses. So it could be that some of you might be doing some work like that. It's not necessarily missionary work, but it's definitely something that is high vibrational. Let's put it that way. Okay. Now, for others of you, I think you're going to meet someone who is, or maybe you have already met that individual who is of a different race, religion, socioeconomic background, educational background. You are different in every sense of the word, but anchored in the center is the Hierophant, which says, in some respect, that your values are the same. For some of you, I feel that you have been on a journey alone. The Hermit with the Hierophant with the Nine of Pentacles, the two nines. Nines are an almost completion. It's not an 8, it's a 9. Two nines can mean extreme isolation, okay, and maybe even the feeling of loneliness. But what is getting you through, what has gotten you through, what will get you through is your firm belief in what it is that you're working for, the value in it. Now, others of you, see if I can get back to where I was. No, I cannot. That's a stupid thing. Hold on one second. I got to figure out what I was doing. There we go. Others of you, these two nines say that one of you need to spend some time alone. And that's why I think these two cards have come out at the top. The Four of Wands is the card of a foundation. It is about building a foundation. It is also a marriage card or a commitment card. It speaks to some kind of celebration. Now, sometimes we don't have anybody to celebrate with, right? So this could be the idea that you, whatever accomplishments or whatever this 4 represents for you, whatever you have, let's say with the threes are starts. Three's a partnership kind of card. It's a start. 2 things coming together to make. I don't know if y'all can see them fighting right there. They're play fighting. Make something together, and then boom, we've got this firm foundation. Okay, so the 3s were the start. The 4 says we've gotten to a particular point and a particular level. But then here's the Hermit card. The Hermit implies that somebody has put a freeze on this. There's a hold on this. Because there's some truth that needs to be ferreted out in some way, shape, or form. By the way, that's a 4 of Wands. That's a 6 of Wands. You can say, in effect, that that's a wand that he's holding. It's a staff, and staff represents a singular focus. So there's been I feel that there's somewhat of a separation here. It may be a physical separation. Do know that there is still some sort of other dimensional contact. There's the light being held out. Okay? So this light is not only for this person to really get to the truth of what this 4 of Wands means. And I would say if I put this staff here with this one, this gives me a 5 of Wands. Yeah? So more than likely this separation has come about through some kind of outside commotion, influence, some kind of outside change, because it moves to a 6. So this tells me that whatever this person has been focusing and concentrating on, this could be a single man, a man who's been alone for a long, long time. Sometimes when I see that card, that means it's somebody who hasn't been in a relationship in a very, very long time, who perhaps deep down and on a spiritual level is very lonely and very isolated. The 5 would indicate to me that that has changed or is trying to change, but there really is someone's trying to really get to the truth of something. I do feel in one respect that with the 6 of Wands, they have in effect kind of moved through that energy. Okay, that's a victory. I don't think they did it without, sometimes I can see the Hermit come up when someone has been depressed, like clinically depressed. And maybe that person has been, you know, depression can sometimes be not just a mental illness, but a spiritual illness as well. And maybe friends came along and helped this person get through that very dark time for themselves. But what is interesting to me is that the lamp is held on the side of the 4 of Wands. So I don't think no matter what that person was going through, even in maybe in their very, very lowest moments, even in all of their soul searching, that dark soul, dark night of the soul, this is the singular focus. So there's something about that 4 of Wands that really means a lot to that person. Okay? Here's the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune comes up. Well, the Wheel of Fortune. There are the 2 opposing astrological, well, the 2 opposing astrological axes represented on this card. We have Taurus and Scorpio. We have Leo and Aquarius. Now, we know that the nodes have just changed. They've gone into North Node, the true North Node in Leo, the true South Node in Aquarius. And when the nodes change, depending on what factors you may have in Leo and or Aquarius, okay, eventually during that 18-month cycle of the nodes being in this particular sign, whatever you have in those particular signs and those houses will be affected. The nodes will transit across those. They will pass by, they will touch them, brush up against them, meet them. They will also make aspects to other houses and bodies across the sky. All right. The Wheel of Fortune represents abundance. It represents growth. It represents expansion. Okay. Jupiter wants you to, Jupiter comes in to bring you opportunities. So this is about some life gardening, doing some kind of life gardening. You can't expect to get good crops if the ground is not fertile. All right. And you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to, aerate it, fertilize it, turn it, whatever it is you got to do, throw compost, whatever it is you got to do, you got to get out there and do it so that whatever seeds you plant are going to be able to take root and to grow. Now, this is very, very interesting with this Hierophant in the center, particularly with these two tens here. Because this, what was a low is now a high. But we also know that at some point in time, the high can also swing back to a low. That's the cycle of life. It happens. We can't always be on the top. You know that saying, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Happens to everybody at some point in time. And I think maybe this is why I have this Seven of Cups here. The Seven of Cups to me reads somewhat like a fear. See, that person's in a dream. This is somebody who may have been dreaming or fantasizing about whatever this Four of Cups means. Maybe they've had this. That's been their singular focus all along. And maybe this is something that they deeply, deeply want to desire. But either there's a fear of it or there is something confusing associated with this Four of Wands. That person's kind of like, relief is not the right word, but it's a black figure in the foreground of the card. So it's almost like the person is in a dream state or maybe even a nightmare state. Okay. All of these options that they have, all of these things that they have to choose from, and they represent the 7 planetary governors. They represent Pluto, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. God, I can never remember all of the 7 planetary governors, but I know them. I see the chart in my head. It's like I want all of it. I want everything. Okay, well, yeah, everybody wants everything. But then what really is everything really good for me or not? To me, it's that thing underneath that, because we don't know what that is. So it's kind of like which cup do I choose? Because if I choose, I've only got 2 hands. So if I had to choose 2 of these options, which 2 are going to be the best for me? Okay? I really want them all, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to take them all, if I'm going to be able to carry them all, even if I really need them all. It is still this row across the center, because through some kind of change, it's almost like the message that I'm getting is that the person, I think, is their values are changing in one respect. Maybe before their values were really based upon ego-based needs or superficial needs. You see, those cups are in a cloud. It's a dream state. It's a fantasy world. The Hierophant is earth energy. He's Taurus. That's a very grounded energy. As you can see, he's sitting on a throne. He's resting on a throne. He's got these 2 acolytes here down at the bottom of his feet. Now, the 2 keys tell me that there's still something about this that has not been revealed yet. But what it's changing from, it's going from this massive confusion, this fantasy, this dreamlike state, this illusion. It goes from this, first of all, to this. That's the way the energy of the cards are running. Okay. it almost reads like there was some kind of, because this leaves me a 3 of Cups. The 10 from the 7. That leaves me a 3 of Cups. Okay? What are threes? Threes are the start of something. Two things coming together to make a third thing. Here we have the couple. Here we have the 2 acolytes. Here we have the 2 cups. And here we have a family. And this almost reads like, okay, I've got that. Now that it's coming up in the future, all right, I got over that hurdle. I did that. Now I really am contented. I really am. I do have enough to go around to share. And I'm finally kind of like at peace. I've been able to, the moderating force. This is the golden mean, finding the balance. Okay? When in effect it's somewhat saying that the balance has been there all along. The person just was looking at it askewed in some way. I do feel that this was, look, there's a lot of Venus in this spread. This is Venus in Aries. This is Venus in Scorpio. This is Venus in Virgo. That is a Virgo card. These are the 2 fire cards. This is Jupiter in Leo. This is Mars in Leo. Now, interestingly enough, this card represents the time frame of August 12th through the 22nd. That's the week of the eclipse. And as we know, eclipses hide things. The 2 keys. Right in the center. This is a scholar and this is a teacher. The Hierophant the Hermit is a teacher as well, but he's more of a scholarly kind of person because he does deep introspection. The Hierophant kind of absorbs his information, not necessarily from the higher self or the higher plane, the other dimension, but he can also absorb his knowledge from observation. He's grounded on the earthly plane. Both of these are earth cards, but Taurus is being grounded on the earthly plane. This person is grounded in some respect, but in a different kind of way than this person. And here's this 9 of Pentacles. Again, the message is, I think someone will be moving, will be getting a house. Maybe, you know, this doesn't read like a loan. It very well could, because sometimes the Hierophant can represent banks. It represents institutions, corporations. Maybe you're dealing with a real estate company. Maybe you're dealing with a loan company or a bank, or suddenly, you know, you've been praying and hoping that you're going to get that house. Maybe you found the one that you like. Yay. You know, you thought about it a lot. How am I going to get that house? You figured it out. And then suddenly, it's like your luck changes. You hear from the bank, you get the house. But then that also brings up some kind of fear or confusion, some kind of way. This is the card that stands out the most. Now, this 9 of Pentacles, and the reason why I say it's, I know that there's some kind of property or house move, because that's what Taurus rules. The second house rules property, land, houses, apartments, but these are your own personal possessions, not something that you own with someone else. It's not a joint resource. It is a personal resource. Okay? But then we have this Venus in Virgo, this 9 of Pentacles female. She's got a snail at her feet. Now, there's 2 things to me about the snail. The snail is a very slow creature, very plodding, but it is determined, and it may take it all day to crawl down to the end of the sidewalk. But it does that. Gets tired, it rolls itself up, takes a break, gets up, keeps it moving. So this requires determination and perseverance. It requires not becoming frustrated. It requires, again, that golden mean. There's also an implication of there's some abundance here. There are grapes in the background. Okay. You can make jelly, you can make wine, you can make dye with grapes. You can eat them. You can, I mean, you can do lots of stuff with grapes, and it takes a while to. In the olden days, you know, people drank ale and they drank wine. The more rich establishments had wine. They had, you know, some of the houses, the very wealthy houses, had their own wine. They had their own vineyards. And here are these coins there. So this represents somebody who really knows how to take their time in doing something and building something up and really getting a gain out of it. Also on the earthly plane. So I think in one respect there might have been some money issues, some confusion around, you know, maybe this can be some kind of circular here with this house thing, something that has been a repeating theme. Maybe somebody had addiction issues. I have seen that come up. You know, in America, everything's an addiction issue. Maybe they've been addicted to sports. They've been gambling. Maybe it's sex. Maybe it's the internet. Maybe it's porn. Maybe it's drinking. Maybe it's drugs. Maybe it's spending money. You know, but those are all Venus things, believe it or not. Venus loves beauty. She likes the finer things. She likes pleasure. She likes to have fun. And sometimes she doesn't care about the consequences. Yeah. I do, in one respect, feel that whatever this Seven of Cups represents, it's been difficult for someone to give up. It's a Venus in Scorpio. And this can also speak to some kind of secret struggle. Venus in Scorpio can be very, very secretive about everything. The Temperance card. Well, the Temperance card says that how this plays out is that we end up finding the golden mean. We figure out what direction we want to go in. It's almost like, to me, with the Hierophant anchoring this card, anchoring the spread in the center, there is finally some kind of balance established. This is all earth down the center, all of it. And the energy that's coming off of the spread is that of, it's a shaky stability, so to speak, but it's more stable than it is shaky, if you know what I mean. It's the 2 tens with the 5 in the center. 5 is half of 10. It is this row. The overall energy of this spread is the 7 of Wands. Feeling threatened. Determination. Perseverance. Standing up for your ideals. Beating back the naysayers. But to me, the card always represents you're in a better place than you realize. Why? Because you're standing above the fray. Okay, be different if you were down at the bottom and all the wands were coming down stabbing you, but you're above the fray. Okay, I want to look at I'm not off the top of my head. I don't know what. I don't think there are any that I can come up with any transits across Taurus. That doesn't mean anything. He came out in the center for a reason. But he's not really speaking to me. Everything else around is speaking. He's very silent. He's very quiet, which is what I would expect out of the Hermit, not the Hierophant, because his job is to share his knowledge, to disseminate what he knows. So he's rather quiet. The keys. He doesn't want to tell me. Well, let's see if the Sibyllus can tell us something. I want to look at this Seven of Cups card. Because out of all the cards, that's really the one that just kind of sticks out. Clouds represent, in the tarot, clouds can represent thoughts or confusion, clarity of thought or not. And these clouds are different from the clouds. These clouds that have the 4 cardinal points on it, the 4 directions, are different clouds from these. Now, I don't know how, y'all are probably looking at it like, I don't know who the hell she's talking about, but it's not really a visual difference per se, but there's a difference. And then every other card, whether it's a dark card or what, it's clear. The energy coming off of the Wheel of Fortune is not, this is bugging me for some reason. It's like seeing something out the corner of my eye, and every time I look, it's not there. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting from this card. I don't know what the purpose of it is here. I can give you intuitively or the meaning of the card, but it's not. Okay. Well. Fire and earth. Fire and earth. Fire and earth. And honestly, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we want to count them, 5 fire cards here. The element of fire. 2 waters. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Somewhere in this spread, Pluto is lurking. He shows up as I think the dragon in the 7 of Cups, but this is a really kind of a sneaky Plutonian energy to it. Not something that you should be frightened of or afraid of, but there's a lot of power behind this. It's a hidden power. It's something that maybe it's not about the fear of using the power. I don't know. There's a Plutonian energy around. I would have expected, well, the card that would have come out, the Pluto cards, would have been either Judgment, okay, or the Death card. For some reason, when I looked at this card, the word Pluto just showed up on it, okay? But that's Jupiter. This is a second Jupiter card, okay? These are 2 Jupiter cards, so this is 3 Jupiter cards we have here. But Pluto is lurking. Pluto is abound. He's in Capricorn. That's a sister sign to both Taurus and Virgo. They're like elements. It's Earth. The big outer planets. So if you look at your chart, you have everybody born within a certain time frame will have Pluto in Virgo, or they will have Neptune in Scorpio, or they will have Uranus in, Virgo. That's a generational thing. So every, like, I don't know the exact time span. I just put an article up about, I don't know, I think it was Neptune. And so there's a time frame. If you look down there, you'll see Pluto, Neptune in the signs. There's a time frame, a generational time frame. So everybody born within a certain number of years together will all have that in the same sign. They are big outer moving planets. That's why so many people are able to share that one particular aspect. Jupiter in Leo, Jupiter in Leo, this is something to do with someone's 5th house, perhaps. Maybe this is what that's trying to tell me in a roundabout way, because this represents your personal foundations. It also, there's nodal energy here. There are no swords. There are absolutely no swords. So perceptions, beliefs, ideas, communication, that's what swords represents, truth and rationalization. But there are no swords here. And remember, I'm telling you about that Plutonian. There's something going on. There's some kind of transformation going underneath. There is communication going on, but it's being held in check in some way, shape, or form. I can't explain that. Pluto deals with underground things. So basements, dark spaces, mines, caves. So that's a hidden element. Again, those 2 keys. All right, let's pull cards on this 7 of Cups. You know what I'm getting? Ghosts. These 7 Cups are ghosts. Not like disembodied spirits, people who have not transitioned fully, or who have transitioned but are still lingering around. It's not that kind of a ghost. It's those psychologically emotional ghosts. That's what I'm getting. That's why the card is kind of disturbing me a little bit. Okay. You know, this could be someone giving a review over what they were taught or what they believe their entire life, and they're about to go through a shift, and they've got to put it all into perspective. And this is about learning that whatever you were taught as a child, or it's good to reassess your values as you move through life and you go through particular phases, because you will find sometimes that some of your values no longer are true for you, or they no longer have a value for you, or they are in effect really weighing you down. They were good when you were 10, 20, now you're 30 or you're 40, and maybe there's a shift going on. And I think that's what this is. Well, remember I said there were no swords, but there's something underground going on. Now, remember I said that some of you might be moving, you will be moving, or maybe you're travel through the mind. Maybe for some of you, this could be, like your quote-unquote destiny is going to be found in another country, so to speak. This might have to do with your work, whatever. This is the viaggio, that's a trip, but or a transfer or move. Here we have the mercante, the person who makes business deals or contracts and negotiations. He's standing on the pier, kind of looking out. Right now, he ain't looking like he's seen anything that he likes too much, but there he is. Okay, so that's like the 3 of Wands for me in this deck. Here is the messaggere, the message coming in from far away. Now, this card does not tell me if this is good news or bad news. It's simply that it's a message coming from far away. I don't know if this message is associated with a move, a trip, or a transfer, because they're both going in the same direction. Whatever this is, in one respect, it's kind of like haunting that person. Like maybe there was an offer put to them and they didn't accept it. Why? Because there were a lot of emotional ghosts there. There were a lot of maybe secrets there. Maybe there was a lot of fear there. Maybe there were some addictions, or basically To me, it reads like there's really been a lot of confusion around this Four of Wands, what that stability is or what it means. Okay? And now the time has come. They're having to reassess. What does that really mean? You know, I have to take a look at this Hierophant to see if even he will give up his secrets. Because he won't talk to me like this. He's not speaking at all. And I tell you what, we will know if he will hold sway, and he will continue to do that when I pull these three cards. And what I mean is that sometimes the cards will come out and they won't make no damn sense. It might make sense to somebody out there, but then I might not be able to interpret them. Let's see. Leggerezza, a change. Tact, sensitivity, irritability. This is someone changing. This is a metamorphosis. This also rules psyche, the asteroid psyche. What you put out there will last forever. So sometimes this is about some kind of project that you work on, or it could be maybe something or someone came in and said something or shared something or told you something or taught you something, and now that has stuck. What you put out there lasts forever. It's a metamorphosis, a transformation. Remember I was speaking to you about the depression? Okay, there it is. So if this is about someone who's been very, very ill, very clinically depressed, very sick, I think they're coming out of it. Okay? Well, isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It's almost like the card reads that the person is lovesick. Why do I say that? Well, Taurus is ruled by Venus as well. Isn't that funny? The healing. Now look, I don't know if it's lovesick in one respect, but whatever this whomever this person is for you, the communication is imperative. It's as though when the communication was cut off, it's like somebody ripped your heart out. It's like a lifeline. I'm just going to pull 3 cards on these 6. And then we're going to close this reading out. Keep in mind that the 10 cards are all associated with aces and the Magician. So it would be, the Magician is a 1. Singular focus. 1 is about the me, the self, the I. But what do they say? No man is an island. See the friends in the back carrying this person or helping this person through that. No man is an island. let's see, a Four of Swords. Well, finally the swords have come out. A Three of Cups. Remember the 10 from the 7, the 3. This is somebody getting their strength back in more ways than one. There is a King of Wands. And you know what that Wands is? That's the Jupiter in Leo. That's the Leo North Node. Well, isn't that something? Okay, well, let's pull these up. Please go ahead and formulate your question. Now, that King of Wands can be anybody. It could mean anything. This could even be speaking to you. Even as females, we are able to embody our masculine energies. I think whomever that person is, maybe even unbeknownst to you, has been in a bad way in some respect, okay? Sometimes that Six of Wands, that Jupiter card, can, Jupiter and Leo card can be just people coming in to help to do whatever they can. They've gotten that person over that. But remember I kept saying it's a shaky stability, but it's getting better. And this might be even, you know, maybe even to the outside world, people may not really know how sad or how depressed or how lonely or how isolated you have been or that person has been. Sometimes that can be, you know, that's why they use the substances here, that Seven of Cups, so that they can go out and kind of function in a normal sense. But I think they've been in a bad way. And perhaps for a lot longer than they have let on. Now, it's a deep Plutonian energy happening there. All right. Within the next few weeks, whatever your question was, this is the answer. Within the next few weeks. It's an Eight of Wands. Within the next few weeks. Weeks now, not months. What you asked about will happen this month or soon thereafter. Your patience is rewarded. And right down the center, that was nothing but patience. Nothing but. It's deep earth, fixed down the center right now. So it's like everything is rooted to the spot. I think with that Wheel of Fortune, that change has come in already. And right now we're waiting to see the results of that, or we're waiting to see, we're waiting. That's what we're doing. What is that, Dr. Seuss, where the people go to the waiting place, a place that's the most useless place? The waiting place is not a useless place. There are things you can do while you're waiting. It is up to you how you handle that energy. I still think that there's going to be some kind of struggle. This may be for you. Maybe the Seven of Wands is the just trying to maintain and just trying to maintain while you are waiting. That can be very difficult. One second, that was somebody that I need to text back really quick. Okay. The 7 says that it's an internal struggle. Sometimes this can be pushing forward with imperfect means without really knowing what the outcome is going to be, but you just do it. You forge ahead. So if you're in that waiting space that Dr. Seuss speaks of, continue to maintain that the wands represent some kind of fire. Try to just move through this time as best that you can while you're waiting. Success and growth. Here are the 8 wands. The keywords are accomplishment, speed, resolution, and progress. The energy of manifestation is around you now, and you are being moved forward in a positive way. Stay focused in your heart. I think that's what I was trying to say with that 7 of wands, because it goes now from a 7 to an 8. Your past efforts are being rewarded. This is a time of new, flourishing relationships and successful resolutions to conflict and struggle. There's that 7. That 5. We got them 2 7s and that 5. This is also an ideal period for greater understanding and personal growth. Listen expectantly for messages that will help you see yourself and others in a fresh and positive light. These messages can come from anywhere. Well, there's the messagiere. Your spirit guides, message from far away, nature, books, or even a television program. They bring new beliefs about love and what is possible. Old ways of thinking and being are coming to an end. Oh, wow. Plant these new ideas as seeds and watch them take root and grow. Remember, I was talking about that Jupiter card, how Jupiter wants you to get out there and life garden so that you can plant those seeds and watch them grow. That this is really, the person is really going through a very, very significant change. It's kind of like it's a spiritual change. It's a next spiritual leap to the next level for them. Okay, but they're really having a difficult time with it, and it could be because they themselves are kind of fixed and don't like to change. Okay, but this is brought about. Sometimes those things can bring a spiritual illness. It can bring you like you can feel like a flu or cold or depression. And that's really your soul depression. Not to take away and say that, oh, tarot card reading and this can help you heal your depression. No, there more than likely could be some kind of physiological or hereditary, because the 4 wands represent the home. That represents heredity, where you come from, your roots. So there could be a history of depression. There could be a history of abuse of alcohol and or drugs. But really, when depression comes on, whether it is somewhat based upon physiology or genetics or heredity, it is really like the soul is not at peace, and it is screaming and crying out for something to change. And a lot of times people don't, they can't themselves articulate what it is that they need to do. They just know that something's not right. Okay? And maybe they don't have the words to articulate it. Maybe they don't want to change. It's been that way for so long that that's okay with them. But now the soul is saying, nope, can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. You gotta. So here, let me knock you down a little bit. Because I've been sending you the messages and sending you the people and doing this and doing that. I'm trying to get you to pay attention. Here, let me knock you down. And sometimes that's how it works. So I do hope those messages helped. My turnaround time for readings are 24 to 72 hours. Marie A., you emailed me the other day about etheric cord cutting. I will email you back. Lisa, the person I just did the Akashic Records, I need to hear from you. Lottie Knighton, you really need to email me. There's a day and a time difference between us, so we can get you scheduled. And so that's it. Come over, join me. $7 for 30 days. You don't like it, get the hell off. I don't know what to tell you. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. Namaste.